Today I'm going to be installing an external dropper post by a company called P&W Components. It's called the P&W CASCADE dropper post. It's a 30.9 inch model, 180 mils of travel. Retails for about 179 US dollars, similar to what RockShox and Fox makes, but it's a pretty cheap alternative to those brands. It's a cable actuated dropper. It's got this external mechanism here, so it looks like to be a pretty easy install. If you look at it, you get to access it by just lifting the cover here from beneath, and it exposes this mechanism here where you could insert your cable like so over here, and when you pull on it, you get to extend the dropper. So it's 180 mils travel, and I'm gonna be using, well, it comes with its own lever, but I'm gonna be using this. It's a ZTTO lever. It's a pretty cheap alternative to what P&W Component makes its own lever. It's called a P&W loam lever, but this one from ZTTO seems to be pretty similar build. It's also got this bearing inside of it, similar to what Wolf Tooth makes. There. See, got bearings, so unlike the stock levers where it only relies on a bushing, so this one's got the bearing inside of it, and it's made from CNC'd aluminum. So it's a pretty solid build. If you look at it, pretty sturdy. There. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty simple build. You're just going to need some cable cutters, hex wrenches, a new cable housing ends, a new cable, and of course the dropper post and the remote. Okay, first things first, I'm going to be installing the dropper post onto the frame. Be sure to put some light grease before inserting it. Careful you don't put some scratches on your new dropper post. And it'll be easier to slide it in. There's also this pretty handy indicator, so you have a guide on how much to insert the dropper into the frame. But it's got this minimum insertion point right here, so just be mindful of that. We got this one for now. Right now for the remote, once installed on the handlebar, how you route the cable is, you route the cable through this barrel adjuster over here, out over here, and over on this cam. And there's a groove right there where you're going to lay the cable inside and cinch it up or lock it up with this bolt right here. Everything's going to be underneath, so I'm just showing you before I install it, because later on I won't be able to get a shot of it. So I'm going to be installing the remote now. It comes with its own clamp right here. So next is the cable. So I'm going to measure out how long I'm going to need. So ideally, you want your cable to go around from where you install the remote. So from this side going around the right side of the frame. It's got an external guide outside the frame where you can just zip tie the cable, route it all the way through here, and I'm just going to measure out where to cut the cable. So before cutting, it's best to have it zip tied on the frame already, so I won't make a mistake or cut it too short. So I'm going to do that first. So make sure to have some allowance for if in case the bar twists on you during a crash, that you won't pull it out or snap it because it's too short. So leave some allowance for when that happens. In this case, this seems to be enough right here. And on this side, cutting it. Right there. All right, pretty sure that's enough. So before inserting the cable, be sure to insert your cable housing ends first on either side of the cable. There you go. All right, now for the cable, just unwind your roll of new cable out and get some access over to the mechanical actuator over here. So just what I did was just pull it from underneath so as to expose the where to put the cable end here. So just insert it like so. There's going to be a groove on this cap right there. Just slide the cable in it, close it from the top all the way to the bottom so it locks in place. And now insert the cable onto this side of the cable housing. So, ideally what I do is I try to put some lube, I'll drop lube while inserting it, just to give it some lubrication. And just grab it from the other side. And be sure to have those cable housings all the way in over there, with only leaving those 3 ridges exposed. Now route the cable into the barrel adjuster of the remote, all the way in. Make sure that drop this cable onto that cam over there. And like this. A bolt loose just enough so you hold that cam to this side and lock it in place with a locking nut. So before tightening, be sure to remove all the slack pulling on the cable right here. Once you've got all that slack out, just pull it hard and then lock it in place. Alright, so finish it off now with a saddle. Tighten up the seat clamp. Be sure to follow the torque specs for this one. In this case, it's a 6 Newton meter spec. Be sure to follow that spec, otherwise it's going to affect the play when you're dropping and releasing the dropper post. I'm going to torque that to specs later. For now, I just need to tighten it up a bit so I can test the drop. Cut up the excess cable right there, and always be sure to put some cable ends when you cut up the cable so as to avoid the ends fraying along you. There's finishing pressure right there. Just adjust this where you want it. Alright, so there you have it. Pretty quick and easy install of a P&W external dropper post and a ZTTO remote with bearings.